So in the previous video, we talked about the basics of Spider and how we do it, and this is what, when we come to Python, we're primarily going to use in the class. We're going to write things in the AI, and then we're going to run it in Spider. Actually, you do have a homework assignment where you're going to be following along a video and doing some basic coding by hand without the AI, just to get used to how the stuff works and the syntax and everything. We do have a homework assignment that does use Jupyter Notebooks, where he kind of walks you through how to do that. So let's just take a quick look at that so we can familiarize ourselves with the setup for that. So just like with Spider, just in the lab computers, you can go to the search bar and you want to search out Jupyter. And Jupyter, once again, like I said with the Spider, there's that py in it because they're really playing into that Python file. And so we're going to click and we're going to run Jupyter Notebooks. Now, it opened in my other screen, but what you're going to see is it opens up a web interface. And so, okay, that's kind of weird because it's a different thing going on, but this is just the way that Jupyter interacts with you. And actually, if you look up here, you can see that this web address, there's not an HTTP in front of it, so it's not a hypertext transfer protocol document. It actually says localhost. It gives that number quad 8/tree. This is actually on my computer, and that's what it's looking at. Because you can actually use a web browser as a file explorer on your computer. It works kind of the same way. It's just not as efficient as the file explorer. And in fact, if you look at this, you can see all this stuff here. These are all the contexts of my user directory, because there's desktop, there's documents, downloads, favorites, just like all the stuff that you would see in your file explorer. And so basically what we're looking at here is, if you look down here, we've got this untitled.ipynb, and that is what a Jupyter Notebook is. That's the file extension for it. And I believe it stands for Interactive Python Notebook. And so it's really, that's just the way things are. All right, so it's one notebook. So it's basically kind of like with Spider, which was, those little files were called script files, which is one script file. And so each time that you make a new notebook, you will have a new IPYNB file. And so really, this all gets into a little bit more, because Jupyter Notebooks are a type of format that's called a JSON file, which is, it's a coding thing. You guys don't need to really worry about it. But there's more than just the text from the Python in there. There's some metadata and everything else. But once again, we don't really have to worry about that. So what we want to do is, let's go and let's make a new notebook. And so we've got all this stuff up here. This tells us we've got our files, we've got what's running. Clusters are a calculation thing, so we don't really need to worry about that. So we're going to come over here to New, and we're going to make a new notebook. And you'll see right here it says Python 3 and then IPY kernel. That's just telling you the Python kernel, which is the part of the code that runs everything, is called the kernel. It's just telling you that we're building a notebook based on the Python computation engine. So it is going to be calculating everything using Python version 3. So we're just going to create a new notebook. I'm going to hit the Python, and it is going to open up a new window within your web browser. So once again, if we look up here, localhost 8888, notebook, and it's notebooks, untitled, and then all the name there. Once again, this is just like the web browser. If I wanted to go back and look for this, it's going to be in my users folder, in the notebooks folder, and then this is the name of the file, untitled2.py. All right, and so this kind of works the exact same way as Spider does, except it allows us to build stuff in what are called cells. And the cell is kind of the body of the notebook. This is exactly like that script window in Spider. But what it allows us to do is it allows us to break up the code a little bit and just be able to run pieces of it instead of running the whole thing. Which in one way is kind of nice, because you can test pieces of it really easily. And in one way, it just makes things a little bit different because now you've got all these little pieces, but it all works just the same. And the two kind of cells that we have what are called code cells, and that's really just like Python. We write code in it, we run code. And then you have what's called a markdown cell. And a markdown cell is basically the code comments like we would do in Jpyter. Markdown is a kind of text programming language that uses HTML coding and stuff like that. Once again, stuff that you don't really need to know. It works just like a word editor. So let's do a quick code. So we're going to do a code in the cell right here. And just like before, we're going to do hello world. So print, notice it does color code just like Python does, but it uses different color coding. So this one's green. In Python, green would be text, but it's all fine. And we're going to do hello and world. And then what I'm going to do is you can either hit the run button here or the keyboard shortcut would be Control Enter. And we're going to run the code. And you can see that we got a syntax error. Just like we did when we ran Jpyter, because I did not put it in the text marks, but it gives us the same thing that Jpyter did, because Jpyter gave us the exact same error. In fact, I still have Jpyter up. If I pull that up here, you can see it's the exact same error. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, let's make it a lot smaller. I'm trying to get both of them on the screen at the same time. So if I go down here, it is the exact same error. You know, it's in this file. It's a different file, but it's the exact same error. It's get to print hello world. It's telling me a syntax error because it is just running the Python code. And so what I want to do is we're just going to go back and fix that, and we're just going to come here, and we will put quotes in. Now, in Jpyter, we got a little X when the syntax is wrong, and this one here, you can see it goes red, telling us something's wrong. I'll put it into quotes. Oh, I take that back. It goes to red for text. And then now I need to run it again. So I can hit the run button or just Control and Enter. And now it runs. And it gives me the output right below it. And so that's basically it. It works the exact same. We can still copy and paste from the AI into this and run code cells. Okay, and so code works the exact same way as Jpyter. Now, what about these markdown cells? I want to do a comment. So what I can do here is if I hit the plus button, I insert a cell below where I'm at. Okay, and so now I have a new cell here. Now, if I come over here and I want to go, this is a code cell. But if I come here and go, no, I want to change this to a markdown cell. You'll notice the line part went away because now I just have text. So there we go. Now I just have text there. When I hit run, you see nothing happens for this one because it's just text. It's just there. And then if I hit run up here, this will run again. These, like I said, you'll see these are kind of cool if you do download some data analytics stuff, do a data analytics course. A lot of times people will build their calculators in this, so it's really easy to use and really easy to run and test parts of their program. So these are the absolute basics. When you do the one homework assignment, you'll work through some other things just to see how it works. And that's pretty much it. So once again, take the little file here. Let's go and save this as something. So once again, let's go File. We can either save as or we can just rename it, and we can just call it whatever we want. I'll call mine Jupyter. I'm just going to rename it. You'll notice up here that it gets renamed to Jupyter. And that's your third file. So upload this one also for engagement. And then I will see you in the next class.